It's race week, guys, and we're heading to Bahrain for the first race of the season. It should be massively exciting. I, for one, cannot wait for the action to get going. We've had the testing, we've had the car reveals, and it should be all action. And it starts early this weekend. The race weekend has shifted a day forward, so on Thursday we're going to get FP1 11 AM start for UK time, FP2 2:35 PM, and then we've got Friday qualifying for the race that starts at 4 PM UK time, and the race Saturday 3 PM. All move forward due to Ramadan starting at the Shakir circuit. It's a 57 lap 5.4 kilometer lap, and it should be fantastic under the lights. I mean, the state car should look absolutely brilliant for a change there. It's got 3 DRS zones down at this circuit, so we get plenty of overtaking for the first race of the season, and also plenty of action. I mean, who knows who's going to end up where. It should be absolutely brilliant. In terms of weather conditions, it should be hot and dry. It does get windy here in Shakir, and actually the first 2 practice sessions are not really representative at all. They take place in the day. Qualifying and race are all under the lights, so where it does get cooler, so it's going to be kind of a bit of an odd one for the teams to get used to and set up. But they've had 3 days of testing there, so they should really know where they are and what they want to be doing, and I'm sure we'll get some upgrades on some cars looking very different, especially to what we've seen to livery reveal, and even over testing to now. I'm sure the production teams have been hard at work getting these new parts over there. It's a dusty, slippery track here at Bahrain, so you know we should get all action. Last time out though, it was a Red Bull 1-2, Max Verstappen leading Sergio Perez, and we got the big surprise. Fernando Alonso got his pole position and just proved how good that Aston Martin was. You know, and proved to be, it was absolutely brilliant when it Charles Leclerc with the DNF. It was a Red Bull 1-2 for pole, and then the Ferrari 3-4, and who knows what we're going to get in qualifying this time out. In terms of the tyre, yes, tyre talk now. It's the hardest in the Pirelli range, apart from the C0, which we pretty much see nowhere. It's a C1, C2 and the C3, the C3 being the softest of the 3 tyres, and it's a 2-stop strategy that we see here at Shakir, and it's normally a 2-stop only, with the C1 and the C3 tyres generally being used. Last time out though, we did see McLaren, the only team using the C2 in the race last time out. But who knows who's going to be where, and after testing, who knows. It looks like the Red Bulls should be out in front again, but it does look massively close. Ferrari were leading 2 of the days in testing, so you know, who knows. And they did have really good 1-lap place. They were much closer to Red Bull over the whole race distance, and when they pulled off the testing for that, and it does look like Red Bull should slightly have the lead there. But who knows, when the fuel loads are down and the engines are wicked up and qualifying, you know, it could be anyone's game. And let's get to the predictions and qualifying. And I'm going for a Charles Leclerc pole position. I think they will sneak it and nick that pole position. And I think, you know, tight behind, but I think Max Verstappen will get that 2nd place. And for me, in 3rd, it could just be anyone's race, to be honest with you there. It looked massively close with McLaren's, Aston Martin, Mercedes, Ferrari even. You know, who knows when it comes down to it at the very end, but it should be absolutely exciting. I cannot wait for the season to get going. For race day though, I've got Max Verstappen winning this one. I just think they're long distance and race pace is just absolutely phenomenal. It was last year. It was made them and set them apart from everybody else, wasn't it? On race day, they just managed to just be so consistent, especially the car in Max's hand. He was phenomenal. Big pressure on Charles on his teammate though, Sergio Perez, and who knows where he'll end up this race and where he'll turn out. But I've got Charles Leclerc, who I think will finish 2nd. He had a DNF, so he's got a lot to prove and will want to start this championship on the right foot. Ferrari being the ones I think feel like they'll be the ones closest to Red Bull as it stands at the moment, from what we kind of saw in testing, although is a lot of caveats and who knows what's going to happen where. And for P3, I'm going to stick with Fernando Alonso, but it could be anyone. I mean, I'm writing off the Mercedes and the McLarens, who actually started or ended last season brilliantly well, didn't they? So could be anyone's game, but the biggest surprise, I'm going for Fernando Alonso, because the Aston Martins have just been simmering, haven't we? We don't really know. They've been the most mysterious over the practice and the testing that we've seen over the 3 days, so we don't really know what car they have under them. The McLarens also, actually, they've not had the best of testing, especially Lando Norris, and he did come out and say Bahrain is not really one of their best circuits, so it's probably one of the reasons why I've got them down a little bit in terms of where I think they might end up for this weekend, but I'm sure they'll be massively and fantastic going forward ahead. But yeah, you know, I've not put up Mercedes in there, which is telling. And for the worst performance, I've got the Alpine, and the most, you know, the ones that I think they've got quite a lot to prove, but they've actually really downplayed themselves, haven't they? They feel like they're on the back foot a little bit, aren't they, for this weekend, especially after testing. They sort of said that, you know, we're not really optimistic, and the signs and noises coming out of that team didn't sound great, especially for the start of the season. So that'd be massively disappointing, especially after last season where they were horrible and they kind of wanted to get their stuff together and get pushing forward for the, you know, that fight for the 5th, 6th place in the constructors. And it starts early. It's a long season, 24 races, the longest in the Formula 1 history. You know, we've all set with the drivers. Silly season will be fantastic this year. I can't wait for that to settle down. 14 or 13 drivers now without a contract at the end of the year. You know, everyone's got a lot to play for. It's high pressure in this one. But yeah, I've also got Williams potentially pulling off a bit of a surprise here. I think they can go fantastically well. They've proved some pace despite some reliability issues in testing. So who knows what they've got underneath the Haas. Although poor and not expecting great, but they're actually were a bit buoyed by their race pace over the testing, and they were kind of got on top a bit of the tyre deg issues that plagued them throughout the whole of last season. So could they actually get something from this race? Who knows? It should be absolutely brilliant. The action gets going early in the week. Fantastic. Cannot wait for that. Just a couple of days to go to the first race of the season. I cannot wait. Watch out for the race qualifying reviews. But yeah, it'll be here. Watch the reviews. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment as always. Let's get the action going.